Welcome to the House of Cards podcast. My name is Jessica. I am a spiritualist, tarot reader, and intuitive artist, alongside my co host Sasha, who is also a practicing tarot reader. He's been working in the esoteric space and online for over 6 years. We are hosting magical conversations with practitioners from all over the world to try and understand the universe from every angle. Thank you for being here. Please hit that like and subscribe button. And let's get into today's magical conversation.
Okay, here we
Hello,
go.
everyone, and we are live. Hi, Andre. Welcome to the House of Cards podcast. Here we
Thank you.
are talking about all things spiritual, esoteric, and of course, tarot cards. We would like to
Indeed.
thank our sponsor, Silver Moon, for helping us put this show
Thanks, Silver
together.
Moon. You guys are the best.
Thank you, Andre, for spending some time with us.
It's a
So
pleasure.
let's get
So,
started.
so,
Tell
so,
me a bit
what? So,
about.
what do you need to know?
Yeah,
What do you
well,
need
let's
to
talk
know?
a bit about you and your practice. Was there a moment you knew you were intuitive?
If have you got 17 hours worth of? um.
Go back, or if there's one that like really sticks to mind, or comes to
What
mind.
do you see? People always go on about intuition, and they go on about I don't know, it's interesting to note, like, I mean, I'm working obviously as a tarot reader, and I find it amusing when you read other people's bios and it says, fifth generation psychic. Like it's like, what did you guys grow psychics as you were children? Like, what are you talking about? Fifth generation psychic? Are you out of your fucking mind? Like, where do you get this from? Like when I hear that, I think you're clearly not a psychic. But when it comes to and it's funny because you go, oh, when did you find out? It's not really when you found out. It's more if you've been carrying a stick with you for the last 54 years, you don't go, hey, when did you realize you were holding a stick? It's always been there. So there's not a question of
Yeah,
when did you normally people do ask that. When did you realize that you were had these skills?
it's
What am I?
like a becoming
It's not
or
really.
a
It's a reminder every day
yeah.
was younger that they're definitely um let me put it to you like this. I am or have been categorized as um almost like a spider on a web or the glue that keeps the book together. That's how I would sort of say who I am. So
Yes.
I'm not going to trumpet my own horn about this and that, and he's got skills. I just happen to be very adept at energy and channeling energy. But for me, it's always been about frequency and sound. So for me, it's very much like if I talk to somebody, for example, I can already hear in the frequency of their voice what the issue might be and what the trouble might be. And it just depends on, I said the trouble, let's use the word the issue might be, or the concern.
Yeah.
Um, because I mean, there is no right and wrong. It just depends on your decisions. I find mostly when I deal with clients, it's interesting. You can definitely see that the client is making the wrong decision or is seeing something incorrect. And then you just got to sort of guide them very nicely to, oh, look, squirrel. You just got to really show them,
Yes.
I suppose. But look, I'll tell you one thing. I know I'm. Uh, I mean, I could tell you this one story. You say, "Oh, this is one very amazing woman who does rune stones, Anaruna Robson." And before she does rune stones on you, this was like I don't know. This probably was about. This is what is it? 20. Yeah, probably about 4 years ago. I met her, and before she does the reading on you, she goes and checks your whole thing on your body or whatever. And then she said to me, "Why are you reading tarot?" And I said, "What are you asking me that question for?" And she said, "I've seen your body alignment thingy thing, whatever that was that she did." And she said, "I've only seen this on one other person." And I said, "Well, who's the other person?" And she said, "Some shaman from South America who's super famous. And you and him have got kind of the identical energy pattern." She's like, "So what are you fucking, why are you reading tarot? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, you could be doing more." But
Yeah.
it's also a means to an end, though, in by way of I am spending time helping people. And if you look at it from that perspective,
Yes.
it brings me, I'm not going to use the word great joy. It gives me a sense of peace when you can guide somebody through what they're going through. But I find that
I really like that. Yes.
I find a lot of people are very, it depends who you're dealing with. Some people are super fucking anxious and some people are losing their minds. And I've got one client who's like so hard to read that I just keep picking up on her like psychosis. And you just go like, "Can you please calm down? I'm trying to do a reading here." Yeah.
Yes.
So it's quite crazy when you do deal with these people. It's interesting to also to note that, um, especially in tarot, because I'm doing it online. I'm with Mystic Sense at the moment. I've also used to be with what was the other one? A Purple Ocean. And I remember with Purple Ocean, they're more of a very corporate structure when it comes to doing tarot, I suppose. Like you've got to be. It's like you might as well be working at an IT firm and have a boss. They are very hectic about a lot of things.
Yeah.
But what that did teach me is try to answer the question as soon as possible. So you've got 3 minutes, basically, for one, two, or three questions, whatever it is. Just drop it, hit it, and you've got to say in the beginning, look, it's either good or it's bad. I know some readers who go, "Well, there's this card here," and like people don't
Yes.
give a shit about what
Got
the
a
card. Not very
message.
versed in it, so you've got to very much go, "This is the story. This is how I see it. This is what's happening." And generally, it's normally, I mean, the large percentage of people that do talk to you are women, so they are definitely having problems with men. I mean, obviously there are some same-sex things, um, but it's interesting to notice that after the I've become more well versed in understanding human nature just from all the calls I've had and the way people ask me questions, because it's not what you've asked. What is the motivation behind the question you asked? So I don't read that. I
Psychology.
read what's going on over there. What are your fears? I can see where you're coming from over here. And I had a client today as well. He's going on and on about his ex who left him. And me and another reader in Italy, Gal, who's fucking amazing, have both given him the same reading. And he keeps trying to go veer off the form. And we keep telling him, like, you're going to change things. You know, you're stalking the woman at her house already. So calm down. And and then he's like, "But how accurate are you?" And I said, "You know, I'm I actually Googled myself. I did Grok and I did Thing, and I'm like probably 95% accurate. Look, there are times
Yeah.
where at a cold
Of
or
course.
mood or have dealing with some family issues, you can be off. You know, I'm not a freaking athlete at the
Yeah.
Olympics.
But
I'm
I
here
guess
to help you. So it
yeah, like
depends. So when
I
it
guess
comes
the
to this
literal,
whole when did
yeah.
you realize thing, I've had a lot of
That's so,
different things that have occurred. Like I had a magic mushroom trip once, which was very interesting. And I saw myself, well, I was with two other people and we all changed form. And I turned into this like little Buddhist dude. And
yeah,
my girlfriend at the time turned into this Inuit woman. And my friend turned into an Indian sadhu. And we kind of all just looked at each other
that's
and we were like, wow,
profound.
you look mad.
Oh.
And then the the Buddhist things come up twice, or it's more so after that because I was in Greece and I'd met how does one, probably like an Egyptologist. She was a very interesting woman, Eva Maria Koymans, very gifted healer. And we were sitting across the table from each other in Corfu, and I was looking at her and I said, and I have this thing where I can look at you, but your face can change, so I can tell who you were in a previous life. So I can
Amazing.
your face can change like 9 times, but it flips rather quickly. And I said, "Hey, your face is changing." She said, "Oh, your face is changing too." She said, "What are you looking at?" I said, "Well, I see this beautiful Swedish Scandinavian model girl who's beautiful." And she said, "Oh, you look like a little old Tibetan man." And I was like, "That's right." And
A
then
lot of
I remember
wisdom.
being on the
Yeah,
mountain
very
and
important. Yeah.
some Tibetan dudes were dropping off peace vases in the mountain the one day, and myself and my friend Hilton were hiking, and we came across these dudes, and then they kind of stopped and they looked at each other and they were like, "Yo, it's that dude, it's that guy," which I found was quite amusing to say the least. So that was interesting. So that's kind of
That's
generally
very
what's been
strange.
going on in the story. But I also
Well, it's
believe in
like
the
a nice.
power. I mean, I'm very good with energy. So when it comes to like, if I remember once I was at I don't know, it was at some festival or something, but I didn't want to go to the festival, but I knew my friend was going to be there. And then as soon as I walked in there, he was on MDMA and he was pretty much mashed. And I said, "How you doing?" And he said, "There's this big purple light around you." And I said, "Don't come near me." And then we finally had a chat and then we hugged each other and he just stopped tripping altogether.
Amazing. So you have like a powerful grounding
Yeah, I can
part for
touch people and
him.
take their drugs from them. So if you're on
Well,
acid, I can
that's
take that away and I can start tripping your trip.
what a good time. That's,
Depends. I'm a
is
cheap
it
date.
always? No, but
I'm a
that can
cheap
also
date.
be a bit scary. Does that work
Yeah, but you
with your
don't do it like no,
emotionally as well,
you
or is it
don't
just
do
like
it. You don't choose anybody to do that on. You play it pretty
no?
safe. You know
Is
what
it
I'm
almost
saying?
like a
But
tether? Well, in a
you,
way, bring anything on, or is it just that
I
sort
can
of like
take things from you, but there will be consequences, clearly. If you're having a bad trip and I'll take your trip, I end up with your bad trip. But if I
yes,
know that I'm taking your bad trip, it's not my trip, it's your trip.
that's like
Ta-da!
it's like a decision and the intention to
Yeah,
yeah
if you do it
engage.
if you do it well.
So
So what's the next
this moves on
question?
to yeah, the very next interesting question, more to do with tarot cards specifically. But is there a weird experience? I mean, obviously there sound like there are many, but I want to do with the cards specifically. That
Really say. I've done more than 10,000 readings.
yeah, that's a
Um,
wild one.
a
Or
strange
you can
one would be predicting a death, probably. Telling
oh,
somebody that
that's
someone's
hard.
going to
Yeah,
die.
that's a hard message to receive and share.
It's something funny that happened. This woman said to me
Yeah.
once, she's like, "Oh, can't find my." She's got this thick Texan accent. She's like, "I don't know where Josh is, and he was supposed to be here a couple of like hours ago, and I fear he's been drinking." So she goes, "Where is he?" So I go look, and I'm like, "Shit, Eight of Swords. He's in jail." And sure as fuck, he was in jail. She got off the phone. She called the dude while I was on the phone with her, and she's like, "Yes, this guy is here in jail right now."
Oh, that would have been fun to explain. How did you know?
The
Most
card.
likely.
It's see the thing about the
But
cards
obviously the
is
cards, but then
you must
yeah,
read it very intuitively. You can't just go, "That's the Page of Swords, and that is that." Clearly, you got to know what it
it's
means, but
not linear.
it's going to have to come in. No, you say it's not linear, but in a way it
Oh,
is linear because
is
of the
it
fact
linear?
that if you're doing a Celtic cross, for example, I do a Celtic cross, but I do it in a line. So if you do a Celtic cross in a line,
It's
you would you would have the present, the challenge, and the past. Now, just those three cards on the left are telling a bigger story than you can ever fucking imagine. That is the one that's going to give you
Yes.
the deepest insight into what is exactly going on here. And then what you should do is, well, what I do, you might have an outcome, but who cares about the outcome really? Who's this? That's funnily enough from the connection with
Oh, what's that? Ah, the world turns.
he actually just said to me, send me your money meditation video.
Oh, the money that for everybody.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, I've got something called Dr. Quincy's Mystical Sound Advice,
Ooh,
and it's a YouTube channel. I've probably got about, I think, well, I'm looking at it now. I'll tell you now. Let's just see what Dave says. See the money meditation thing. Link. So he wants the link. So okay, this is good. So we're already here. So
thanks,
the link
Dave.
he's looking for, the link he's looking for is something called the let me just get this. So it's called Dr. Quincy's Mystical Sound Advice. And what he's looking, I've got on here, what is this? I think I've got about 188 videos on here.
Oh, nice.
So well, I mean, I don't know
That's
if
a
you could
lot of
see it, but like
work. Yeah.
you could see over here, for example, that's the Vishnu mantra.
Okay. Very
So
lovely.
so the video
And
that
what was
he's
the?
actually looking
Yeah.
for is called it's not the White Tara, I'll tell you now. I'm just going to go through 188 videos, but when I see it, I'll tell you what it is. So he's looking for that. So basically, when he gets this video, he's basically coming there for the audio, and the audio will help you generate money. Is the theory of the idea here? Because like there's the Kali
Yes,
Kree
I love
mantra,
working with
the Davantari mantra, the
frequencies.
Kali Gayatra
Mm.
mantra. So I've got a guy who does, there's the Ganesh mantra. So these are all do different things. So I do believe if you play the music, the frequency creates the opening for you to be open to see. Now that's what he wants, the Lakshmi mantra. So this is what he's looking for. I don't know if we're going to be able to hear that, but that's what that would look like. And so
Okay,
I'm just going to send that to Dave quickly. Well, so it's interesting. So let's just
that
see.
is interesting. That's very
So
cool.
so you play the Lakshmi mantra, and then
Mm.
it puts you in the right energetic framework to um, receive. Because I mean,
Yes.
clearly, if you're on a frequency, if your body's out of frequency and you listen to another frequency, your body assimilates with that frequency. Also, if
It'll
there's like 10 or
align with the
20 of you in the,
vibration.
if there's 10 or 20 of you in a building, or even three, your brain waves sync as well.
Yes.
So if you're
I
on that
think it's
frequency, then you can start. So he wants the Lakshmi mantra, which is so I've got a guy called I call him a mantra wala. So you know what a wala is?
enlighten everybody.
A wala is
Please.
like if you're in India, for example, a wala is almost like your waiter. So you've got something called a tea wala, and a tea wala will come if there's 1,000 people, they bring the metal containers and they all pour you tea. So the joke is he's a mantra wala, so he will bring us the mantras. And
Oh, lovely.
his name
Okay.
is Steve. Steve, I found through another guy called Adam. What is Adam's surname? Suskin. He does amazing things because what they do is he, Steve, will chant into a liquid of jellyfish, like real jellyfish. So these
Wow. So
so
many
these guys
questions,
so
but
so
keep
these
going.
guys make so he makes like so the mantra will affect the jellyfish solution because it's homeopathic. And then they'll add like gold in there or whatever it might be for that, and the mantra seals it up, and then you can take that.
That's how, yeah, that's a lot of, yeah, intention and vibrations all in there. And just to understand, I think why the jellyfish specifically probably is not
Jellyfish
a
is good
question for
for
you.
no,
Or
jellyfish
it sounds
is
like us.
apparently jellyfish is very good for holding frequencies.
Yeah,
It's better
that's
than water.
interesting. How they
Better
live
than
and move in
it's
the water.
better than
The
water in because he's a homeopath. So like and he's also
mm,
got a degree in biomechanics and shit. So that's you better interview him later.
thinking as you're going, we're going to go through and like put a pin on all the amazing people
No,
you've
but he
mentioned
but
and
he's
tag
quite mad.
them.
So Steve, my walla, he's about 87, I think. But he is very active. I mean, he is quite mental. He goes to Nepal all the time. He can read Sanskrit like from that. Like he'll go through whole books and he'll be like, "Oh, what mantra are we doing today?" And he'll do this or that and the next thing. And then we record him at Digital Forest Studios, which is actually where
Very cool.
Sasha used to work. So
Okay.
so I recorded there, but I knew Sasha beforehand. So Sasha was going, "Oh, well, why don't you come to the studio and work there?" So it's been an interesting ride
Cool.
to get to where we are right now. So I've got about 188 videos on that. I think we've recorded 26 at the studio. Um, it's a lot of work to go do, but it's very gratifying. And there's a lot of people around the world. Like it's wild. Like people in Russia are my biggest fans, which is weird. But the people in like snowy nowhere are digging the
Yeah.
vibes.
Because
So
they have a lot to piece out to, like white bliss, right? Maybe it's just easier. They're too
apparently.
busy, in the urban cells.
So apart from that, I'm just doing the tarot takes up a lot of time. I fall asleep at 6 p.m. every day. So
Mhm.
I haven't seen a sun rise or a sunset for 4 years.
That is quite intense. 6 p.m. That's very early Cape Town time. So I'll
Yeah,
be
well, I have
thinking
to wake
Cape
up at 1 o'clock
Town.
in the morning because I'm dealing with Americans. So then I start
That's
work at
your
2 o'clock
time
in the
zone.
morning, and then I work till 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning, and that's what you do every day. And if you want to catch them in the
Cool.
afternoon, you get back online from 2 o'clock till 4 o'clock. But that would only be during our winter because it's daylight savings. So
Of
daylight
course.
savings switches again, I think in November when it's summer by us and winter by them. The daylight
Makes
savings in
sense.
America is much longer than I don't know. They just keep it on much longer. It's very weird. But I deal with people from generally from Canada. I deal with people. I think that was Dave. When he sent me a big old love heart there. Shot King. That's me. So okay, so that's good. So one times meditation mantra in the bag. Um, and so then I'll deal with the Canadians, then I'll deal with Americans, but then you have to deal with everybody from Los Angeles who are sort of earlier in the day, and then you work from there because it's all divided into sections. So that'll be the West Coast. You go West Coast into some what they call well they call it Middle America time or mid time, and then you go all the way down to the East Coast, which will be New York. So you've got quite but you mostly get a lot of people from the mid area, which will be everywhere from Texas right up to Utah. Like this middle America thing is quite interesting. But then again, you also get like, I get a lot of Australians, I get a lot of New Zealanders, I get a lot of Indian
Mm,
people. And in 1 week, I speak to 68 people.
that's a lot of people. How do you
Sometimes the same
maintain
person,
your energy?
you
Do
don't.
you just, is it,
You have
is
to
it just
do the thing.
trusting that there's,
No, well, I cover myself. I've got tourmaline.
mm,
Before I get on, I meditate for half an hour, but I do some rituals so I can be protected, I suppose is the word. But it's
yes.
very interesting because sometimes I can take on someone's energy for them, and I can tell that I'm doing it for them so that they will feel better. However, I am taking your shit onto me. So, when you talk to somebody on the phone and you go, "Oh, I feel so much better now that I've spoken to Janet." But Janet's actually
Yeah,
taken all
Janet
your
doesn't feel
energy
good.
from you,
Yeah,
you
she
see.
feels sick now.
So
Yeah.
you've got to kind of, there's got to be a gap between you and the person, kind of. But then
Mm.
sometimes it's also interesting because people haven't really parented themselves. So you kind of have to parent them in a way. But it's also the way that you say things,
Yeah, that's
it's
part of healing, and maybe a lot of what we do as readers is we guide people through a part of healing they can't carry or don't know how to deal with themselves.
Yeah, but you have to tell somebody they're a
It
fucking
is.
idiot, and you have to do it in the nicest possible way.
Yes.
Like, have you ever thought that you're the
Yes.
fucking problem, woman? Have you? Have you ever taken accountability for your actions? Think about that.
That's I think what tarot really does is it reads a vast energy, but it first starts with the
Yeah, but it's also
mirror.
the way that you deal with the person. It's the way that you say things
Mm,
to them. You've got to come, you can't really come from a moral high ground. You've got to come from a very sneaky backdoor way. And you go, I'm
mm,
hearing a lot of what I want and me, I. I always call those people, um, what do they call that? Do you work for Specsavers? Because it's me, I. Like people, and I find it's interesting with the dynamic between men and women. Women are very
mm.
solipsistic, and by that I mean they are very self-involved. It's almost as though men who have produced boundaries and done things correctly are not assholes. And you're like, no, woman, you are the fucking problem. You know what I'm saying? But you've got to say it
Yes.
properly to this woman. But I've had a woman say to
But
me, fuck it, not even about that. I had some Indian lady and she gave me like a 3-star review and said, I'm not listening to you and you blah, 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 you're wrong. And I was like, no, well, so I did the reading and I said, this dude is going to lead you up the garden path. He doesn't really give a fuck about you. He wants to fuck you and leave you. Boom.
it's not
Writes
what
me
you
this shit
wanted to
review. Writes
hear.
me a shit review. Calls me under a pseudonym 2 weeks later. Hi. And I'm like, it's you. She's like, no, it's not.
Welcome
I'm like,
back.
woman, you fucking lying to me. First of all, you gave me a shit review. No, I didn't. I said, stop gaslighting me. I go look on my fucking review page. She's like, well, I'm just calling to tell you that you were right. So I said, well, that's really nice. But no, it didn't help me in the fucking review you just gave me. Everyone thinks I'm an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
go
but no,
back
no, no,
and
you're
fix that.
right. But the weird thing is, she goes, I'm going to be calling you from now on to get the truth. But then she doesn't because she wants to hear the fucking bullshit story from somebody else. The whole airy fairy, oh, I got you, girl. Yeah, he's the man
Yeah.
for you. Just hold on a couple more days. If you want fucking hope, do not come to me. I will not give you hope. I will give you what is very much a nuanced vision of what the reality of the situation might be in the future, but I'm not going to give you hope. If you
I
want
like
that,
it.
go
That's a
talk to
lot of
somebody else.
respect. Yes, yeah, you want
But
a, a
what am I
reality
going to
check,
lie to
something
them?
that's
And then
gonna.
they ask me like 5 minutes later, "Oh, but you said that, you said that." Yeah. You
Then
see,
they're gonna
once you
come
give
back
people
and tell
hope,
you
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 give
were
them a
wrong.
promise. You see, once you give people hope, you give them a promise. They see it as a promise
Hmm.
from you. They don't see it as anything else. But you said that. You might as well be fighting with a woman. You promised to do that for me. No, it's not how it fucking works. So I'm telling you, and I also like put caveats in this thing. This will only work if you do not fuck up. If I tell you do not contact this person and you do, you change the timeline. If you
Yes,
now my client now has been stalking his girlfriend, he's outside her house 8 days in a row.
that's
And I said,
that's
you're
very
fucking up,
interesting. How do
dude.
you like, yeah, handle that
No,
like,
you say you're fucking up. You're being a
yeah,
fucking idiot.
that's
Normal
the
people don't do
responsible
that.
way because they're
Would you say
putting a
that
lot
this
of
is normal
trust in you.
behavior? Would you say this is normal behavior?
Absolutely not. No, it's unhealthy for everybody. And, that's respectful to your clients to say this is, against, especially if it's that kind of relationship and they're just doing what they want.
Yeah,
You've got to hold
exactly.
that clear boundary. That's
So
so
that's why it's
important.
interesting now. Like we're having the meeting now, we're having this conversation now, and we started at 2. But I will be asleep in 3 hours. So when it comes to
Folks,
3 o'clock, I normally
is
like to be
that
sitting outside looking at the sky, taking it easy. But
absolutely
so I
what,
do this every day though.
yeah. So you changed up
But I
your
also do it
agenda.
for a
Thank
reason.
you.
I'm obviously also doing it for financial reasons. Otherwise, I would not be doing it. But I have
Yeah.
made, I've managed to make, or let's put it to you like this, by the end of this year, I would have had saved R1 million.
That's immense. Is that from just running your own businesses, working
That's
for
just tarot.
yourself,
That's
doing the
just tarot.
things. That's
That's
amazing.
just
I love it.
tarot. But you
Hey,
work
and
every
that's
day, and I've only
leaning
taken off
into.
this year alone. I've taken off 1 day.
Hmm,
Last year I took off two. The year before that, I think I
what's
took off one.
what's that that drive to almost to not break? Is there like is there a drive behind that, or like a mission
The drive
that you
behind
feel
that is
like?
very simple because no. You must realize there's an end game to my strategy. But that's all basically, if you cut a long story short, I'm investing in certain things that will have a return at some stage. So um, when that
Big
return
picture.
comes, I will be able to work less um, and not be so focused on getting to my goal because my whatever I've invested in will already be doing that for me. I mean, I'm getting older as we talk. I'll be 55 next year in
Yes.
March.
I really want that. That's young. I feel like 55's still young.
Okay,
Wasn't
bye.
so.
You've been great. I'm gonna go find
Very
myself a 12.
young.
I'm gonna find myself an
It's like
18-year-old girl, and
midlife.
I'll be back. That's not midlife. Midlife's like 40s or something, isn't it? Unless I'm living till
Just the
100,
life
which God forbid, that's not
expectancy.
gonna happen.
Oh. Okay, well, you've
So,
got a generation or two ahead. It's okay.
so that's. I mean, what other questions would you have?
Oh, so many, but I would just prefer to have you back because this is so interesting and just from like so many things that have resonated that I'd love to pick your brain on more. So I'll leave we'll part today on a last one, just bringing it a little
Mm.
bit back to the cards and for recording's sake. If you have a favorite deck that you like to work with or a
I
card that
used the I
resonates with
used the
you.
Rider Waite deck. I have terminated this deck. It is so. If you look at the deck and you hold it straight, there's a thumbprint in there. So my card actually goes like this
Oh
from
wow,
holding it
yeah.
for 4 years. So if you look at it, you're like, what is wrong with this guy's card? But I just use the Rider Waite
Like a
deck. I
beloved book. It's
like a beloved book that gets read every day. But I do have a backup Rider Waite, but that's it's a brighter color one.
yeah.
But I like the original Rider Waite. That's it for me. I don't believe in oracle cards. I might as well buy a chocolate and read it. Oh, sweet, dreamy, creamy, scented filling. Yum yum yum. No, for the
Sweethearts.
like, I don't give a shit about your oracle
Oh.
card. I do not give a fuck about your oracle card
Respect.
because I mean I can
A
I
man of
just
his
find it
tools.
I find
Yeah.
it absolutely ridiculous. Like, I don't know, it just makes no sense to me. Like, and then I don't know, but I've looked at
It detracts
other
from the
cards.
message.
Like I looked at
Resonates
the
for some people.
Lomond cards, and I was like,
Mm.
I just something I'm just not getting here. Because I mean, I've looked at other things, and it just doesn't. If you give me Rider Waite's, I'm there. It's like if this is the Ferrari you've
Yeah.
driven all day, every day, I'm going to stick it at that. Because I refuse to. I mean, you can get all these other fancy ones or whatever, but it just people don't realize that the Rider Waite is very. You might be able to look at this card every day for the rest of your life, but every time you'll see it, there'll be something different in every different reading.
Yes.
Do you see what I'm saying? There's something that you'll spot. Like, I mean, sometimes I look at my chariot or not my chariot card, but like say I look at the emperor card, and sometimes I'm reading and I'm thinking, is that emperor looking sad, or does that emperor look like he's
He's like
just doesn't want to be bothered today?
a
You know what
Mona
I'm saying?
Lisa. Yeah.
So, but then sometimes the emperor will be in a different reading and he'll look like, I don't give a shit. I'm in control of my life. Let's go do the thing. But depending on the placement of the card and how the story is going, and that's why I said, if you're doing the reading on the present, the challenge, and the past, this already tells the whole story. But what tells the bigger story is it's funny because you have the outcome and then you have the future. And for me, that doesn't really tell the story. People always go, "Oh, the outcome is that, and the
Mm,
future is that." That's not it. It's more
mm,
nuanced because if you take into account external circumstances versus the hope and fears, that really can change an outcome in a big way. So, but then if you look at the conscious and the subconscious and the advice, which people don't really, people go, oh, the advice was this. Yeah, but then why the fucking card there? Because the advice has got a lot to do with your conscious and your subconscious. So you can't
yes.
really say, you'll have to kind of look at it and go, is this a positive reading or is this a negative reading? And if it is positive, what are the positives? And what do we have to watch out for? Being the negatives. But I don't really say things are negative and positive. I say this is good or this is not something that you want to hear, you know? So already the person's already interested. Okay, well, you could also say, I
Yeah.
know it's shit because that's why I'm talking to you, buddy. But
Yeah.
you can't give them, but so it just depends how nuanced the deck is. Sometimes when you're reading it, it can be it's just glaringly obvious sometimes. You can just go, that's what like if somebody goes, I'll just
Unveil.
put on the cards and I'll go, forget about it, don't do it, you know? And I don't have to explain 10 cards to you in a row, which I can do,
Yeah.
but I'll just say, no, don't
But
do that. You'll
but
save
it's
yourself
also
a lot of time and money here, buddy. Come on, no, away with you.
not the point getting it done in those sharp 3 minutes.
Yeah, but
No,
yeah, but
that's
see,
value.
if you're doing this for a job,
Mm.
especially on Purple Ocean, they had these videos that you had to do, which is a 3-minute video. So you're supposed to fill up 2 minutes 45 seconds of the video for it to be able to go through. And anything more than 3 minutes, they won't let it go through. So if you basically
Okay, it was, yeah.
program
Make it
yourself
or
to
break
do
it.
readings in 3 minutes, then you're going to get on top of your game because you divide it into three sections. One, because your first section is basically 20 seconds of what's the problem, maybe 30 seconds. Now you got another 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
And you can weave where you want and need to as you
Yeah, but then
go.
you've got to do
And
the
as
reading
the
for
client
2 minutes
needs the
basically, and
energy.
then you round it up for the last 30 seconds. So you've got to be quite quick at this thing, especially if you're doing this for a job. And a
Yeah.
lot of people do readings for, I mean, especially on, like, I'm on Mystic Sense. There's a lot of people that are regular readers. I mean, I'm definitely one of them. But you can make an insane amount of money. I think the most I made was last August. I made 108,000 rand.
Think you are, this isn't even like conversation, it's more like been a master class of not just,
With the
the
master
cards and
arts.
the tools. Yeah, it's like from the networking to like how you use your resources and get the
Yeah,
people and
it's
aligning with
yeah. I
and
like Mystic Sense because they're very they would be called, like, in there they'd probably call them the mom and pop store. But
yeah.
weirdly enough, they are their rating online is quite high. We used to be
Mm,
below Mystic Sense. We're now no, Mystic Sense used to be below Purple Ocean. Now they're above Purple Ocean
that's interesting. Yeah, well, I suppose maybe there's
because
been change of ownerships in some circles, and when
look,
you
what's
change
interesting?
policies,
No, 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 you
it kind of
misunderstand.
all.
The big tarot companies that exist, okay, they are, if you pick the top four, they're all owned by one company. And the one company that owns all four is an Italian company, not even an American company. And why is it an Italian company? Because they put together the back end, shall we say, of the tarot reading thing. And so then they created that, and then they started biting up Keen, Purple Ocean. What's the other one from Purple Ocean? They've got another sister company. I forget what it's called.
Yes,
Um,
Purple
and
Garden,
Purple
something.
Garden, yeah. So that they own all of that. So they're a big conglomeration. So they're a big thing. So when they fire you good.
Yeah. Well,
And
they fire you,
also
come
with
on over
if
this
you're on Purple
afternoon.
Ocean, if you
Yeah.
miss a call, if you miss a call, they will just stop. You can't work for a week. They just go,
That
fuck you,
sounds
you're
good
not
for
working.
that because you're being humans also about being flexible, and we're not like robots. And I think
Now, if
especially
I
as
miss a call on
students,
Mystic
we need some
Sense, if I
grace.
get a miss a call on Mystic Sense, I get an email saying, "Hey, you missed a call. Do you want to get back online?" You'll be like, "Yeah, no problem."
Is everything okay? You haven't burnt yourself out
So,
there to the
so the
crisp.
other one is a bit more corporate, where and
Yeah.
also they take a lot more money. You must look at the splits. I mean, Mystic Sense will take 48% of your money and leaving you with 52. However, when you've got that 52, they are still taking money from you to another 3% of that to take the money out of their company. Then you have to send it to PayPal and they take their percentage of that. Then that goes to your bank and then they take the percentage of that. Do you see what I'm saying here?
Yes, it's a piece for
That's why you
everybody
work
of your
every,
very
that's why
hard
you have to work
work.
every day. You see what I'm saying? That's why you got to work every day to make the money.
Yes.
So, but you can look, I've always said, I've got a friend of mine, Adam. He works for Purple Ocean. And the we work like this. If you haven't made 2 grand in the day, you haven't been working. If you make 2 grand, stop working. Fuck it. Why do you want to deal with more people? Yeah.
That's a good cap. That's a good, yeah,
So,
in
but you
advance we take it
but
all.
to make 2,000 is
Yeah.
not that easy. You would have to spend probably an hour and a half at $3.95 per minute talking to one person.
Mm.
And so if you divide that up, that could be you being online for 8 hours, but then talking to blah, 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 blah. It just depends. And if you haven't made it in the morning and say you made 1 6 or 1 5, then you still have the afternoon to do your another 2 hour session.
You've got that break in your routine because you're tracking your best time zones, which is good practice. Yeah.
But I am, you see, when you start, you've also got to put yourself down as quite cheap because otherwise people won't use you. So, but it depends. I mean,
Well,
for
so you
me, like,
build a
so
track
it depends
record, a
on what your
reputation.
rating is. Like,
Yeah.
I would turn my I would charge more probably at the end of next year because that's I've spent tenure. You know, I've done my.
That's
I can then legally say, hey, look, I've got blah blah blah. I mean, on Purple Ocean, I had 2,600 likes, I think, of 5-star rating, which is pretty good. Um, so you've got to kind of work your way
yeah.
up to that so you can charge the kind of money you want to charge.
Yes. Well, that's exactly proving your trust and your authenticity, which
You know, people do read your reviews and go, wow,
yeah.
the reviews seem fine. But also, I do suggest that when people do read, just take things slow. Like when the person calls, say what I always say. Hi, whatever the hell your name is. But sometimes they just got characters like MG or PT or what or some furry monkey or whatever, some sort of name that you don't know who the fuck you're talking to. So you go, hi, how can I be of assistance today? Could I have the pleasure of your name, please? How can I be of assistance? And keep it very slow and monotone.
Yes, because you don't want to impart
And
anything
then
that
wait for the
okay.
answer and then say, what is the question? And then I also throw in, if you ask the right question, we'll get the right answer. And then they might give me a question, and then sometimes I'll say, that doesn't seem specific enough. Why don't we tailor the question differently and ask this question? And then they go, yes. And then I say, is that all right with you? And they go, yes. And I said, well, let's start.
That is a beautiful finish. Andre, that is divine. I don't want to add or take away from that. Yes. Like a real wizard, sir. Thank you so much. This has been amazing. We're going to drop all of your links and your bios to all of your projects. And
That's what happens when you work for 5 years straight, just reading online.
you get that mic drop, right? Like you've earned it.
Yeah, it is a bit crazy, I must say.
That was
But it's,
smooth. Thank you,
thank you.
Andre. Oh no, and I'm so grateful. I'm gonna hit that button there. We just hit on a 444 as we did a vow.